Hello, today we're going to talk to you about gamification. What is gamification, you may ask? Well, gamification is an educational approach that takes the elements from games, such as what makes games fun and what makes them motivating and interesting, and applies these elements to non games contexts, such as the classroom, to motivate student behavior to promote learning. Some examples given in the TED Talk that I really liked were speed camaraderie. I thought that was funny and a great motivator for adults to follow the speed limit, thus following the laws. I really liked O Power. That has been a common feature within our society as people compare each other to motivate each other, like keeping up with the Joneses. And I loved Fold It. It was so interesting that a 15-year problem was solved in 10 days just by gamers, by a game being created. Referring to examples that weren't mentioned, I thought of GimKit, which is a very popular game that I learned in one of my observations in the classroom. And this is where students can compete against each other, use their correct answers versus not correct answers for points, and how many points they get is how many power-ups they can have, and they can affect other students and their scores. And it's kind of like a race, and how like speed games and thus learning games are really effective. Not to mention games such as GimKit not only are more entertaining than just plain studying through web-based programs such as Quizlet, but it just promotes studying in general, which is awesome in the language classroom.
The first example I chose from the TED Talk is Pain Squad. I really just think this is genius. I've never considered it a problem that doctors have in the hospital is trying to diagnose kids because they can't describe how they feel properly. And I do think the best way to get kids to do something is make a game out of it or make it fun for them. And I think this is a really good way, especially because I used to love pretending to be a detective when I was younger. So I can see myself loving this. The next one I really liked is Nike Fuel Band. I actually have my own Nike Fuel Band. I never considered this gamification, but I can see how it is you are given goals and rewards and you are able to track your progress, and it just keeps you so motivated to stay active, keep improving your health, and just do better every day. I actually love it, and yeah, I think it's super helpful. The next example I chose is Dragon Box. This is kind of just like every other math game that kids have on the internet to practice. There's a lot of them, but this one, I can just see myself as a kid loving it. I used to always play games where I was taking care of animals, feeding them, making sure they're okay. And this one requires you to do the math before you get to do that. Um, so I think it'd be super fun for kids to get their math done, and I just thought it was really cool. So the example I chose, I wanted to find something for adults. So EI design, it's used in a corporate workplace, like just an average company, and um, basically it's like product training, and you have clients or workers understand the features and functions of a product by playing this game and doing the quizzes, which is super cool to me, like how games can be used in just like a corporate company, and I can see it being so helpful.
I like gamification overall because it provides situated learning, which is very important, especially in the language classroom when teaching culture and about the world, to promote that exposure. It also makes learning visible, which is also really important because during language acquisition, the feeling of plateauing is very common. I'm also a big believer in student-centered and led classroom. So I like gamification because it gives the ownership to the students to lead their own learning. Although I am also hesitant about gamification because it's really easy to get a half-baked idea or something that comes across cheesy and thus unmotivating, such as the example given in the TED Talk, Pain Squad. I found their motivating commentary to be actually cringeworthy, but this also could be due to inappropriateness by my age range. Nonetheless, I would like to include elements such as the creation of a narrative with an epic meaning or calling to action within my classroom. Issues or topics students are passionate about can be solved through a format that they choose, such as an adventure story where you choose your next path, where each continuation is a level up in difficulty as you work through different language tasks to complete other tasks at hand. Also, even though gamification and game-based learning are distinguished, I like each because they create the opportunity and they create the environment within the classroom to be comfortable and freely work through trial and error without hard negative consequences such as grade reduction, allowing students to explore more comprehensively in their learning.
So, overall, I really enjoyed doing this research on gamification because prior I'd only considered it on an educational basis, which I do kind of hold the same standards for. I do definitely see the benefits and how it can captivate and motivate students to learn, but I don't really see myself incorporating gamification that much in my own classroom. I see it as more of a reward for students or a end of the day or like a Friday or like a at home assignment type thing. I don't really see myself using it to replace traditional instruction or learning, but that's just me. However, I do see the benefits of gamification, and I was super interested to learn more about how it can be used outside the classroom. For example, I never knew my Nike Fuel Band was a form of gamification, and that's just super cool to me because I do see the whole benefit of it or the whole goal of it to be able to track your progress and keep yourself motivated. And that's the whole point of gamification, is a tangible way to see how you're improving and want to keep improving. So yeah, I really like gamification and I can see myself using it in the future.